Hey again. So in this video, we're gonna look at styles. Okay, so styles is here. Um, have you guys ever imagined, when you have to do a table of content? Yeah, it's so much hassle, isn't it? You have to list all the topics, and then you have to look at the page title, and then if you make any changes, you have to update the numbers again. Okay, again and again, and it's really something frustrating. Okay, but in words, there's actually ways to ease this a bit. Okay, it's easier if you do it like this. So that's for this purpose, we're going to use styles, right? So I've made some changes to the previous document. Okay, so let's just imagine that this is your first chapter. Okay, and you actually, okay, instead of doing things manually, right, we'll use the settings here, right? So in chapter 1, this is set as heading 1, okay? So use that, okay? Look, it's already updated to chapter 1, so you can actually remove that, okay? So you can imagine if you have introduction, okay, you don't actually have to type chapter 1. Okay, the styles will do it for you. So now it doesn't look right, okay? Remember, because introduction needs to be down there. So if you're using styles, then you have to use shift and then enter, okay? And you have something like that. Okay, so this is a word, okay, and then you go to 1.1, right? So go to heading 2, and heading 2 is already going to number everything. It's going to even detect that it's under chapter 1. So logically, it will be 1.1. Okay, and if you choose heading 3, for example, it's going to update that to 1.1.1, right? So there's still some changes here that you need to do. So see here, there's no spacing. So you can do that with the paragraph. Okay, put 24 in the after one and say okay, right? So you have to update this, okay, so that it will be consistent throughout your text, okay. And but only need to do this once actually, right? So let's say problem statement. Just go heading 2 and see it's already done automatically. So it's going to read that as 1.2. So imagine if you have, if this is actually a subtopic of 1.1 and you choose 1.1.1, okay, and it's going to number it accordingly. So you don't need to have a headache, okay, about the numbering, okay, and then sometimes you get lost. What exactly is this subtopic now? Okay, so much easier. Okay. For example, here, literature reviews chapter 2, remember? So use heading 1 again. It's gonna directly number that for you. Okay. And let's say you have actually that is your subtopic, for example. Okay. Because I just want to show you about the numbering. So if you choose that, it's gonna number it as 2.1. So you no longer have to think about, you know, which chapter I am, what number it is, and if you have image, all right, image here. So usually what people do is of course to type it, right? But in the styles, you can actually set this up in the beginning. Okay, so you have caption, and you will have something like, okay, insert caption here, and you can actually choose figure or table. All right, use figure, and you will need the numbering including the chapter. So heading 1 point, so I usually use period, and then okay, and then wow, figure 2.1 immediately. Okay, isn't that easy? So look at that, figure 2.1, so you don't even have to type it. Okay, so follow up. So this will maybe be something like, okay, Faculty of Forestry and Environment. Okay, that is your topic for the figure. Okay, so what about, so if let's look if we have a second figure. Okay, second figure here should be in the middle, and then you want to add um, the reference again. So use references. Okay, insert caption, right? Insert caption, choose figure again. Okay, make sure the heading is already included, but usually you only have to do it once. Okay, and it should follow for the next ones. Wow, figure 2.2. Okay, so let's say that is research lean startup methodology. Okay, so you may ask me like, why is this such a big, you know, spacing? Because we choose all. Remember when we are setting up the paragraph, so you can actually remove this. You can put 0. Okay, and that will look much better. Okay, there are ways to do this easily. Okay, you can actually format this for figures, and then it will be customized for all of your text. Okay, but I digress. If you want to learn about that, then please find that out. Okay, otherwise we can just do this manually. Okay, that's also easy as well. Okay, so what if you have a table, right? Okay, you know, right, how to enter a table. So insert table, maybe have something like that. Okay, so the title or the caption for tables are usually on top. Okay, so let me quickly do that because I just want to see. Sorry. Okay, again, you can use references, you can insert caption, right? Choose table here. Okay, and because it's the first time you do this, you have to check the numbering. Include the chapter number, okay, heading 1 and period. You can always change this, but please make it consistent across all of your text. Okay, so select OK, and then you are out with that. So you got table 2.1, and let's say that is a characteristic of something of blah blah blah. All right. Okay, so I hope that this will be something, you know, very useful to you. Okay, so using styles is really a great way to work with words. Okay, because what happened, it can give you easier functionality. Okay, in terms of table of contents and stuff. So let me show you very quickly about table of contents. Okay, I'm sure maybe you've seen this before. Okay, go to references, and you see that on the left side, so that's table of contents, and you can choose built-in ones. Okay, so let's say you want to choose something like this, right? So see, it's already there. So you have the page number there, you have the numbering of the topics already there. Okay, of course, usually tables contents is in the beginning. Okay, so this is here because I just want to show you. All right. So let's say if you have, other than that, you need to insert a table of figures. Okay, remember you need to do that in your thesis. So easy, just do that. You got the tables. It's so easy, and I think it will save a lot of time. Okay. Now, so you might ask me, okay, what happens if you change? Okay, so maybe chapter 2 is no longer at page 2. Okay, for example, you have already made changes in chapter introduction. Okay, and somehow your literature review starts at page 3. Okay, that's easy. You're just gonna, after you finish, all right, you can actually update this table of content. Okay, just hover your mouse on this section and this will appear, and then you just update the table and it will ask you whether you want to update the page number only or you want to update the entire table. So this is fairly useful, especially if you make changes to your subtopics. Okay, if you change, especially remember in your literature review, okay, it doesn't really follow specific guidelines, for example. Okay, so you might change your subtopic from 1.2 to 1.2, 1.3, or 1.3 goes earlier to 1.1. Okay, it might happen. So you can actually do that and you can update the entire table. Okay, and then Word will update this for you. Okay, so really makes your life easier. Okay, in a way. Right. Of course, this also works as normal Word attributes. Okay, so you can actually change the fonts or you want to change the settings. You can always look at different ways. Okay, you can even customize your own table. Okay, for example, you want to, a lot of different things can be done. Okay, you want to have a leader there, maybe between headings here. Okay, so a lot of things can be done, right? Even here, this one. Okay, so apart from that, yeah, of course, a list of tables can also be included, okay, as well as list of figures like I've shown you before, okay. But you might ask me, why, when you open up your Word, you can't find something like this? Okay, that is actually something important because this one I developed myself. So I change the styles, okay, according to my own needs, right? So if you look in your particular Word, when you open, usually you're going to have something like this. Okay, this is the default Word settings, okay, and the styles are like that. So if you are interested in learning how to change this, okay, I have made another video looking at how to change the settings, especially to update your style, okay, so that you can actually use a similar style across different types of reports or essays, okay, and because otherwise, okay, I will make my style, okay, the one that I developed, available so you can actually use that as a template, right? Or otherwise, if you want to develop your own, then you can look at my next video, okay, which is developing the styles according to your thesis formatting, right? So, all right, one question. So what happens if you change the order of your write-up? Okay, for example, you want to change a problem statement before the background study. Okay, so this is not usually done. Okay, but what if? Okay, so let's try this and see what happens to the style. Okay, see, it updates itself. So 1.1 and 1.2, right? The only thing that you have to be careful about is when you change the order of your tables and your figures. Okay, so for example, if you want to bring that up, okay, see it doesn't change, but what you can do actually is to highlight that, see that it becomes dark gray there. So you can right click and update fill. Okay, now it changes, and do that for 2.2 as well. Okay, so actually what you can also do is also select all, and then you can update the field in that way as well. Okay, but don't worry about the subtopics if you use styles, because it's going to update that automatically. Okay, you don't have to update the field or anything. Only if it's in figures, okay? Because another thing why this is important is if you have something that is an hyperlink. Okay, so in your text, okay, this is a neat trick as well. Okay, usually you just say refer to figure 2.2. Okay, so this is where it becomes tricky, because sometimes when you change the order of the, you know, the figure, you have to change back in the text as well, and sometimes you will miss something. Okay, so what you can do is go to references. Okay, choose cross reference, right? And you actually want to refer to your figure. Okay, and maybe only the caption, only the label and number, right? And you want to look at figure 2.2, insert, close, and see it's there. So you no longer need to type that actually. Okay, so this is where it becomes tricky again when I say before, because you want, if you change the positioning, okay, of your figure, you might need to change this as well, right? Um, so when you do that, usually you can update that figure. Okay, one more thing is, for example, if you have an additional figure in between, so this becomes 2.3 actually, so here it will not update immediately, so because you still have to do the same thing, so you have to update the field. Okay, so update the figure first and then update the text. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And please feel free to try, feel free to practice on your own. This is very interesting thing, and it's very useful, I hope, for everyone. So if you like that, then I'll see you in that video. Okay, bye.